In the movie's opening scene, Jake Sully talks about his simple and peaceful life as chief of the Omaticaya clan. He has a family with his wife Neytiri, which includes his sons Needium and Lo-AK, his daughter Tuck, his adopted daughter Kiri, who was born from Grace Augustine's unconscious Nasik's avatar, and a human boy named Spider. Miles Quaritch was born on Pandora but was unable to be brought to Earth in Cryostas. However, despite the fact that Spider is a human, all of the children, including Kiri, who has a special place in her heart for him, get along well with one another. Spider prefers Nasik's culture and customs to his human upbringing. They carry on as usual with their day-to-day activities until they suddenly spot a strange star in the night sky. To their dismay, they discover that it is an RDA spaceship carrying humans who are colonizing Pandora and constructing yet another main operations station. One of the newcomers to the ship is Colonel Quaritch, who has been cloned into a Nasik's body and has had his memories from before he died uploaded. As a result, Quaritch can only recall the past and his vengeful mission to kill Jake rather than remember his own death at Jake's hands. In an effort to prevent the RDA from abusing Pandora once more, Jake leads a methodical guerrilla operation to weaken the supply lines used by the RDA. During one of the operations, Lo-AK, who disobeys Needium and is eager to demonstrate himself, tries to assist Jake in battle but is injured. He is saved by Jake, who also teaches him not to act recklessly, risking his own safety. Neytiri gently reminded Jake not to be too harsh on Lo-AK that evening as he was tending to his wounds. Jake responded by expressing his concern for his children's safety as a parent. In the interim, Quaritch sets out on a mission to locate Jake in order to exact revenge for the RDA supply line attack. During a jolly expedition with Spider, the kids of Jake venture deeper into the rainforest. They don't know that Quaritch and his co-workers are in the same area looking for the spot where Quaritch will find his body. Perceptive Lo-AK detects their presence and immediately informs his father Jake, who is informed of the situation. However, Quaritch's team kidnaps Jake's children during a battle. The majority of them are freed when Jake and Neytiri arrive in time, but Quaritch, who recognizes Spider as his son, captures him. Despite Quaritch's reluctance and ignorance of his true purpose, Spider teaches Quaritch about Nasik's culture. Additionally, Quaritch is able to tame an Ikran flying creature and use it as a vehicle. Jake persuades a reluctant Neytiri and his family to flee the Omaticaya clan and relocate to Metkayina, a coral reef island whose clan and lifestyle are adapted to Pandora's aquatic habitat. He is fully aware of the danger Spider's knowledge poses to their safety as well as the need to avoid another disaster. Jake travels to Metkayina with his family after handing over the chieftainship to his successor. Tanawari and Ronald, the clan chief and his wife, are initially skeptical of them when they arrive. In contrast, Jake explains their circumstance, and they are granted shelter and consent to remain. The family learns the ways of the reef people and earns their respect, despite the fact that some tribesmen make fun of Jake and his children because of their genetic human heritage. Lo-AK makes friends with Cyria, the daughter of clan chief Tanawari and his wife Ronald, while Kiri is captivated by Metkayina's aquatic life and forms a spiritual bond with it. When Lo-AK makes a crude joke about Kiri and him having mixed human ancestry, he gets into a fight with Cyria's brother Aonung while they are adjusting to their new surroundings. Jake scolds his son for what he did. Jake asks Lo-AK to come back and apologize to Aonung and his friends. They abandon him in the territory of a dangerous sea predator as retaliation and lure him there. A sea predator attacks Lo-AK. Lo-AK is saved and befriended by Payakan, a Tulkun, a peaceful and intelligent species of cetacean that the Metkayina consider to be their spiritual family. Chief Tanawari, who learned of Aonung's actions against Lo-AK, requests that the former apologize to Lo-AK upon his return to Metkayina. In contrast, Lo-AK accepts responsibility and gains Aonung's friendship. Additionally, Payakan is informed that he is despised by his species. In the meantime, Kiri attempts to meet her mother through a branch of the Tree of Souls, but she experiences violent seizures. Ronald heals her, but when Jake asks Norm Spellman and Max Patel for help, Quaritch follows them to the archipelago where the people who live on the reef live. He takes control of a whaling vessel with Spider on board to hunt Tulkuns for their brain enzymes, which can be used in anti-aging treatments. Jake's whereabouts are brutally questioned by Quaritch to indigenous tribes. If that doesn't work, he tells the whaling crew to kill the Tulkuns to get Jake out. Lo-AK establishes a mental connection with Payakan and learns that the Tulkun was expelled for breaking the rules of his species by attacking the whalers who killed his mother. Lo-AK, along with his siblings Tsyria and Aonung, rushes to warn Payakan when the Metkayina learn of the Tulkun massacres. When they find that whalers are after Payakan, Quaritch takes Lo-AK, Kiri, and Tuk captive. Because their children were in danger, Jake, Neytiri, and the Metkayina set out to confront the humans. Payakan attacks the whalers when Quaritch forces Jake to surrender, starting a fight that kills most of the crew and severely damages the ship, which sinks. Lo-AK and Spider are saved by Nedium, but he is killed in the process. Kiri is being held hostage by Quaritch, and Jake is up against him. Quaritch initially denies having a son when Neytiri does the same to Spider, but after Neytiri cuts Spider across the chest, he changes his mind. Tuk, Neytiri, Quaritch, and Jake end up trapped inside the sinking ship. While Kiri summons sea creatures to assist her in saving Neytiri and Tuk, Jake strangles Quaritch to death and is saved by Lo-AK and Payakan. Spider finds and saves Quaritch, but he leaves him because he is cruel to the Nasics and puts killing Jake's family ahead of being his father and being a good man, which makes him want to go back to Jake's family. After Nedium's funeral, Jake and his family make the decision to permanently reside with the Metkayina.